Okay, guys, so look, yesterday I got on and I spoke for about 20 minutes about how to bypass the gatekeeper. I know a lot of you guys are getting overwhelmed, frustrated, just sick and tired of not being able to get in front of the people that you want to have referring to you. And so I shared my personal experience and also the experience of some of my students with you about how we actually bypass that gatekeeper and get you in and get them actually referring to you. Now, if you're catching this live, please go hashtag live. Let me know where you are. If you're catching this on replay, go hashtag replay. And of course, if you've got any questions at all, stick them in the comments and hopefully I will be able to read them. I said, once again, I am on my phone, so I have no idea how this is going to work now. I might even just sort of refresh this machine over here and we put this on Saturday mornings. You've got to love Saturday mornings. Okay, so here we go. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Tim Cooper, and I spent a lot of time in natural medicine. I've studied herbalism and aromatherapy, spent a number of years as a remedial massage therapist, had my own private practice, and also finished that part of my career as an educator, as a teacher. I taught and administered at a local massage school. So that's why I sort of know what I'm talking about in this regard. And I think, what I've got the privilege of doing these days is I love marketing. I love the social psychology. I love to learn what makes people think. And I've got the time now to actually immerse myself in that side of things. So I can bring you the stuff that's working, the stuff that's real, the stuff that we can experiment with, and you can concentrate on what you do best, which is helping people, treating people, and that sort of stuff. So how do we go about bypassing the gatekeeper? That's the big question. I speak to a lot of therapists and that is their biggest thing. They just get so frustrated. So I've tried this and nothing's working. And so I'm just going to set out a couple of things for you. And number one is that you don't go in with a full frontal attack. Okay. They are very well guarded. They are very well defended. They are set up like forts when it comes to frontal attacks. Like doctors and specialists, sort of stuff, they are bombarded with requests from people like pharmaceutical reps and all sorts of things every day of the week. And basically, they need protection. They need to be able to concentrate on treating their patients. So they do have this wall up, which is almost impenetrable. And there are ways to sort of work with that system. And I included that in my current training, the Get Book, Stay Book method. I actually included a lesson on how to go about what the steps are if you want to sort of work with the gatekeeper. So you've got to charm the receptionist and maybe give her some gifts, some chocolate or whatever, or you've got to work with the medical center manager, maybe charm them and sort of stuff. You've got to set up a breakfast meeting or a lunch meeting. You've got to provide the food, and then you do a formal presentation to the doctors, and hopefully they'll listen to you and start sending you clients. Right? That's the way that pharmaceutical companies do it. Okay, they woo and charm the gatekeeper, get a breakfast or a lunch meeting set up. They cater it, so they provide the food and beverage, and then they do a formal presentation. And obviously, if you're going to go to all that trouble and expense, you've got to have your formal presentation really down pat and really present very, very well and speak with authority and use terminology and language that portrays you as somebody who really knows what you're doing. And also, you've got to have some results on the board. So once again, for those of you just joining, please put hashtag live or if you're joining live, put hashtag live. If you're joining on the replay, put hashtag replay, and please put your questions into the comments and hopefully I can see them and answer them. I said that I'm having all sorts of tech issues at the moment, so we'll just see how we're going. Okay. So how do you get around this? And I want to tell you my story, and then I'll tell you how one of my students adapted what I did to just have an amazingly busy practice at the moment. Her business is absolutely blowing up, and she's getting referrals every single week. Okay, and it's pretty hassle free. So what I did personally, so we get this. I don't like being so close to. Anyway, so what I did personally is that. So I worked in elite sport for a number of years. I worked in elite sport for 11 years. So I did work closely with sports doctors, like sports physicians. I worked closely with sports physiotherapists or physical therapists, depending on where you are in the world and the terminology that you use, and some very talented therapists, soft tissue therapists, that sort of stuff. So what I'm talking about in here is that we're talking about getting into to doctors and physical therapists and specialists and that sort of stuff. So I'm talking more about a medical, clinical, osteo, that sort of like remedial massage therapists, like people who work with injuries and pain and that sort of stuff. But you can adapt, like everything that you do, you can adapt what I'm talking about here to any specialty that you do, whether you're doing spa, relaxation, pregnancy. It doesn't really matter. What you do. You can take these same principles, just that the target that you're approaching as far as the referrals are going to be slightly different, obviously. So I heard a great quote the other day, and it said, if you want to catch a fish, you've got to think like a fish, not a fisherman. And that's just so important, because as a fish, you are thinking completely different than the fisherman, right? You are the hunted. The hunter is always going to think differently to the hunted. And if you're going to start to sort of successfully attract the clients that you want to you, you've actually got to think like the client, right? So anyway, my story. So after working so long in elite sport, I came out into private practice. And I was highly skilled. So I worked next to, I've got a bit of hair on my lip. I worked closely with physiotherapists, physical therapists and stuff. I had a very, very good skill set when it came to treating injury. I worked in elite sport. We had to get these athletes up to compete in a week, right? So when I came out into private practice, I thought it was just going to be easy, that I'd have people knocking my door down. And that wasn't the case. And that's when I had to sort of turn around and start learning marketing. And I've shared my story many, many times, and I'm not going to share my story in this video, but it is around. But basically what happened is that I was getting some referrals from the physios that I had worked with, because they knew me and they knew the results I got. So that was working in my favor. Anyway, this all started when I was treating this one particular client, and she was in chronic pain, and she was going to a pain specialist. And one day she went to the pain specialist, and he said, I want you to go and see this guy. He does massage and dry needling, and he's really good. And this woman said to him, she said, no, I don't want to go see that guy. I've got my own guy, and he does dry needling, and he's really good too. And so he says, okay, whatever. And so when she came, she told me a story, and she said that, no, she's been to a specialist, and he wants me to treat you for this, or he wants you to treat me for this, right? And she just hands me a piece of paper. And the guy, the specialist, hadn't written any instructions. He'd just written the problem the woman had, and it was ITB friction syndrome. So he didn't tell me how he wanted me to go about treating it. He just basically said, okay, this is what this person's got. Go for it. So I started treating her, and she went back to her next appointment with the specialist. And he was so impressed with the results and the progress she had made, that I got a phone call from his receptionist. And I remember it to this day. I was just sitting there, and the phone rang, and she said, hi, my name's Kylie, and I'm from Dr. Tim Grice's rooms, and he'd like to start to refer to you. And I said, great, that's awesome, thank you. And she said, how busy do you want to be? And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, he needs somebody like you, and he can send you a lot of work. How busy do you want to be? And I said, as busy as he wants to make me, right? And it was a gift from heaven. And from that point on, he was referring to me a minimum of 6 clients a week, right? A minimum of 6 clients a week coming from one referral source. And because he was a specialist, his referral bore weight, okay? And I'll go into the other advantages of having these guys refer to you in another training, but it really, really helps, because the problem of the one and done, like the expectation of being fixed in one treatment, that just doesn't exist, because these guys will actually educate the client saying you're going to need at least 10 treatments or whatever. So they're not coming with the expectation of being fixed quickly, okay? And that's also important. So from there, obviously my business grew very well, and because they were paying clients, the protocol for them was usually like at least one treatment a week for at least 4 weeks until things started to hold and improve, and then we would start to push them out to a maintenance. So eventually they were just on a monthly maintenance treatment, so they didn't slip backwards. So we always had these people sort of coming through with intense into intermediate into maintenance programs, and that's the way that we shuffle through. So you've got to also understand that not all of the 6 people that were referred to me from this guy actually came. Just because they were referred doesn't mean they take referral. No, just because somebody refers a mechanic to me doesn't mean I use that particular mechanic. So that's the same thing. And that's the other thing too, is you've got to teach the people that you want referring to, you want to teach them how you want that referral to take place. And I'll get onto that a little bit later in the video about how to get them to do stuff for you so that bookings are actually made. Okay, so from there, I left that particular clinic. I said I was actually working in a physio clinic. So we're physio or physical therapists. It was a clinic full of them, and I moved my clinic to a medical centre, and I was actually inside a medical centre, and I reached out to a couple of doctors there. So there were some doctors, there was a podiatrist, there was a nutritionist, another physical therapist, and so I reached out to doctors there. I found, look, not all doctors love us. Most doctors still think what we do is hoodoo voodoo. I find the best doctors to reach out to are the guys that are actually physical themselves. So they're physically active. The guys that like to run and do triathletes, like to swim. So the ones that go out there and hurt themselves are the ones who really sort of appreciate what we do and what we can do for them. So that was important. As well. So out of that, I strategically offered free treatment to 2 doctors and a podiatrist. Okay, and from that, once again, just constant referrals came. The reason I didn't have to do a strategic freebie for the pain specialist, because he had already seen the result improvement in one of his clients already. So he was already a believer. The other guys, to get them on board and to let them know that, what style of massage I did, how I went about it, how professional I was, what results I got, you've got to get them on the table. And that's where we talk about the strategic free treatment, is that you're going to strategically give away free treatments to people who you want to become referral sources for you. So I gave away 3 half-hour treatments, 2 doctors, 1 podiatrist, and from that, they spoke. One was connected to the doctor who was in charge of the emergency room at the local hospital, and he was a crazy active guy who did triathlons, that sort of stuff. So he ended up becoming a regular paid client as well. And the doctors actually came to see me as paid clients, and because my clinic was inside the medical centre, they would actually walk their clients into my clinic and either talk to me or my receptionist. Obviously, if I was working, they wouldn't talk to me, but they would actually talk to my receptionist and talk about the problem. The receptionist would take a note, and they would actually book the client on the spot. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. So it's as you can see, my initial approach wasn't directly to the Medico. The approach actually came through a recommendation from a client. Okay, and then what happened after that, as things went on, I had another client who came to me as a referral from the pain specialist, She went back to her GP after seeing me a couple of times, and the GP says, "Oh, you're going really well." And she said, "Yeah, I've been seeing this guy who does massage and dry needling." She says, "Oh no, you got to be careful. No, those guys, they can hurt you more than they can help your RR." And she said, "No, this guy's really good. He's really conservative, and he's good. He's been very helpful." And sight unseen, that doctor then also started to refer clients to me, and I've never even spoken to that doctor. I've sent emails and left voice messages thanking for all the referrals that were sent to me, but I never met him. So that's the way it works. So basically, you don't need a lot. I had probably about 2 physios who sent clients to me semi-regularly, 4 doctors, a podiatrist, and a pain specialist, right? You don't need a cast of thousands to build a steady stream of referrals. So how do we go about this? So if you're in a position to talk to a doctor directly, be very, very clear about what service you provide, the results you get, and who your ideal client is. Like, once again, they can't send you clients if they don't know what you do. So this is where you've got to be very, very specific, very, very clear. And you really need to have runs on the board. You need to be able to get results or show improvement. Like, they understand that we are working with people and a very complex machine called the human body, and we can't guarantee anything, but you also have to have some sort of track of success that you can actually help people or improve them. Okay. So the next step is once they know exactly what you do, who you do it for, where you get your best results, and so they can start referring people to you, you've got to train them on how you would prefer to get the referral. And that could be, you might want a letter. You might want them to send you a letter of introduction and their history and that sort of stuff over to you, right? So that can happen. So they'll get their receptionist. Obviously, they're not going to write the letter themselves, but they'll get their receptionist to formulate a letter introducing the client, telling them about the problem, maybe how the problem came about, what treatments, and what they want you to do. Okay, that's one way. My preferred way was to get them to book at the time. So if the client came out of the doctor or the specialist, and the specialist said, "I want you to see Tim," right? And Kylie or whoever's out the front just asked Kylie for a business card, right? So they come to the front and they'd ask Kylie for a business card because the doctor had referred them, right? Now, if that happens, then you've got, I don't know, a 50-50 chance they're going to actually pick up the phone and book. Even though that referral has come via the pain specialist, it's not guaranteed that they're going to come and see you. And this is the thing that Tim Grice, he's an amazing pain specialist. He said, like, he gets very, very, very frustrated because he says what I do is 50%, and then what they do is 50%, and what they do, their 50% is doing the rehab, coming to see people like us. And a lot of people don't do that other 50%. They just expect what he does surgically to fix the problem. They want that sort of lazy mentality. So these guys are also very frustrated. So you don't want to. If you really want to increase the take-up rate of referrals, ask them to get on the phone at the time and book. Right. So they come out from seeing the doctor. They go to the reception. And she says to reception, "Dr. Tim wants me to see Tim, the massage guy." And the receptionist say, "Cool." And they right there and then get on the phone and start to work out a suitable time for a booking. And even if that person says, "I don't have my schedule with me now, I don't know if I can make it," you say, "That's fine. Just get them to do the booking." Because now when you've got them to do the booking, you've got their contact details. And you say, "Look, if it doesn't suit, if you get home and look at your diary or whatever, and you find it doesn't suit, that's fine. Give us a call and we can always reschedule," right? But at least you've also got the information now to follow up with them too. Okay, so if they do ring and say, "No, I can't make it at a time," and they drop off the system, you've now got the information to bring them back onto the system. Okay, so that's sort of teaching your referral network how you want your referrals to come to you. And of course, the other thing you want to teach your referral network is expectation, like how many treatments minimum that clients with certain conditions will need to see an improvement, so that when at the time of referral, they can be told that. So the expectation isn't that they're going to come to you and get fixed like that. The expectation is that, okay, I need at least 10 treatments, or I need at least 15 treatments, depending on what's going on. So that's the important thing. So that was me. So basically, honestly, between my new clients and my return clients, the vast majority of my business was made up purely on that basis, either built on or still coming in from referrals. And then, of course, the clients refer within themselves, and the doctors talk to other doctors, and it just gains momentum that way. And I didn't even have to do any advertising in the end. I was just getting all these referrals coming in all the time. Okay, so that's why I did it. And I said one of my students over in Perth, on the other side of the country, she took what I did and adapted it to what she wants to do. So she wants to work with high level athletes, or athletes in general. She's very athletic herself, and so she went out and she identified people who she believed to be of key influence in the local athletic scene, and she offered strategic free treatments to those people. Once again, probably only 4 or 5 treatments. I'm actually asking her for some real statistics here, so some real numbers, so I can share them with you. But I know she didn't give away a lot of free treatments. They were just strategic to people who she believed were of influence and who would refer to others. And that's always things like you give a free treatment. Firstly, free is better than discount. I've covered that in a previous in a previous live. When you discount, you actually devalue your service. When you give something away for free, it's like a sample or a gift, and what you do doesn't lose value. Okay, that's a key element, right? So you maintain value when you give something away for free, but it has to be strategic. And at the end of the day, you say, well, there's no such thing as a free lunch, because what you want them to do at the end is then, once they've experienced what you want to do, you want them to then, for them, you want to have something in place now that they will rebook at full price, so that you'll get at least one paid treatment out of them. So all of a sudden now you've worked at 50% if they only come back once. But generally speaking, if you do a good job, they're going to come back regularly. So you're going to get that. And the other thing is then you also want them to refer. So once you say, okay, well, obviously you need more than one treatment, want to see you again next week. And if there's anybody that you know who I could help, because now you know what I can do, please pass them on. And once again, these athletes just went out, for my other student, went out and just spread the word. And she is still, like, every day she's getting referrals. And it just so happened that one of the athletes that she treated for free told her physio. And her physio came in for a booking, and a paid booking on the referral, and she was so impressed now that this physio, this physical therapist, is now referring all her clients who she can see that this person can help to this person, right? One day she got five referrals from this physical therapist, and this is a sports physio. So this physio is highly regarded in the area as the #1 sports physio. And and these guys, they are looking for people who can do the work. Okay, they are begging for it, they're screaming for it. And the problem is, there's lots of people out there who say they can do stuff and they can't. So when they find somebody who they can actually work with and who can get results, they are over the moon and they're so happy, and they will just send you all the work you can get. And that's what's happened with my friends. So out of 4 or 5 free strategic treatments, her business is just blowing up. She's getting new clients every week. And the other thing too is, because she's working with athletes and because she's working with injuries and that sort of stuff, it is return work. So these aren't just one-off treatments. She doesn't have to go out and just keep on finding new clients all the time. Like, she's building a base of loyal return clients who absolutely love her. So that's the way. Don't think about going in for an all-out front-on attack when you're looking at getting these guys on board as referrals. You can come, like, they are highly defended for frontal attack, but you can definitely come around via the flanks. And to come around via the flanks is by getting somebody that working with one of their clients, and then have them go and refer to you, have them go and tell the doctor or the physio or the specialist how good you are. right? Because once again, you can always tell people how great you are, but when somebody else says how great you are, that holds a lot more weight as well. And that, my friends, is how you bypass the gatekeeper. So once again, if you found this interesting, please like, share, comment below. If you pick this up on the replay, put hashtag replay. If you're catching up on this on YouTube, because I will put this up on YouTube, hopefully, please like and hit the subscribe button and the bell. Please, even though you're catching this on the replay, please still put your comments below and I will answer them, right? And we'll be coming back doing regular lives now, talking about these other key elements of how to build your business. Now, remember, the saying, like I spoke today about medical massage or clinical massage, but you can apply these same principles no matter what sort of modality that you do. Remember, to catch a fish, you got to think like a fish, not a fisherman. So where are your fish? Where and think about where, like if you are providing massage or relaxation massage, and you want to focus in on a particular like subgroup, like you might want to target in on mums with young babies, because goodness knows they need a bit of quiet time and a bit of relaxation. So where do those mums with young babies hang out, right? What services do they use? Then what you do is you go to the people who provide those services, offer them a strategically free treatment, and so that then when people come in and they can see people who are really free, and then you tell them, like, I love working with frazzled, stressed out mums, because I know they need it so much, because it's really bad for their health to be stressed and frazzled and not sleeping all the time. So it's really important that they get on the table and come in and just have a bit of me time, once a week or once a fortnight. So explain the sort of person that you work with, and then say, and then you give them the strategically free. So you give one person a strategically free massage, and then they know they can actually talk from experience when they are referring people to you, because they have sampled your wares, so to speak. Right, now the reason is too that I want to answer your questions is I am creating a new course all about this. I study marketing and social psychology and what makes people buy and all sorts of stuff. I study that every day. I'm totally immersed in it, so I can bring you what is working, because I can take what's out there and tailor it to our industry, because I also understand our industry very well, because I worked in it for a long time, and I can take that and I can put that into a working system for you, a framework that you can just sort of plug into to help build your business. So what's happening is that if you are already a member, a student of my Get Book, Stay Book method, you will get early access to all this new training. In fact, you'll be part of the development of this new course. If you're a current student, you will be getting the modules as they are released to go through, give feedback. I might change up, maybe improve or whatever, or add more, take stuff out. So you'll actually be part of this. This will be a course for therapists by therapists. Okay. So if you want to be part of that and you're already a member of the Get Book, Stay Booked community, not a problem. You will automatically get access, early access, and then of course, because you're already a student, you will get lifetime access to the course once it's created. If you're not a member of the Get Book, Stay Booked method yet, now is the time to get in, because you're never going to get it at a more affordable price, right? At the moment, it is $97 US one time, right? So a one-time payment of $97 US for an 8-week training system on how to sort of market, like build your business with a proper foundation, okay? And that's a great course. It's a foundation course. We've had many great successes come through that course, and now we're going to build on top of that to make it even more comprehensive, okay? So the current Get Book, Stay Booked method process still works. It's evergreen. We don't use any fatty, trendy stuff, right? We just work with the tried and true, because things come and go. Like, anybody remember MySpace, right? So it's bad to link a business strategy to a platform, because there's no guarantee that platform is going to be around forever. Okay, so the stuff we do is evergreen, and a lot of time it is free, right? I'm a great bootstrapper, and a lot of the stuff that I talk about doesn't cost you anything but some of your time. Okay, so if you want to learn more about the Get Book Stay Book method, go to getbookstaybookmethod.com and check out that page. Now, I am going to create a new walkthrough video to go into what's in the units, but as I said, it is a comprehensive 8-week. Well, there's 8 modules. It was dripped out over 8 weeks. At the moment, it's not, but it probably will go back to a drip. So if you want to sort of get access to everything at once again, now's a good time to jump in and grab it, because number one, it will go back to being dripped out once a week, module by module. The reason why we stopped it is because we shifted platforms, and we couldn't sort of restart the drip and stop people who already had access to everything to start over from scratch again. Okay, so that's the only reason why we stopped the drip. So the drip is coming back, and also the price will go up. So when this new course comes out, the price of the Get Book Stay Book method will go back up to where it was, and that was $497. Okay, so there's some incentive for you. You can get it today for $97 US by going to getbookstaybookmethod.com. You can be part of the development. You can get early access to this amazing new training that we're putting together for you, that we know is working, because I've got people out there getting amazing results. We've got businesses blowing up as long as they implement, right? You just can't watch a video and you go, oh, that's good. Nothing's going to change. Okay, you have some theory, and you have like an academic understanding, but until you put it to work, right? Until you implement it, nothing's going to change. Okay, you can learn and you can procrastinate and you say, well, I'll do that, but I just got to learn something else and something else and something else, right? And all you end up being is you become a very, very broke, smart person. Okay, you've got to start putting this to work in your business, right? If nothing changes, nothing changes, basically. Okay, guys. Once again, thank you for coming along. Sorry for all the technical issues. It's driving me absolutely crazy. So it looks like I'm going to have to do it this way until I work out what's wrong with my computer. But anyway, any questions, once again, put them in the comments, and I'll be back. I said I've got a lot of great stuff to share with you, some really, really juicy, advanced stuff that can really save you time, save you money, and get your business blowing up. Okay, until next time, you take care.